I remember there were these times with my wife and my previous company, and I've done it here with Carrot as well. I'm coming home and like for 6, 8, 10, 12 months, and I'm like, babe, here was the revenue this month. And I said, it's our best month ever. And she goes, oh my gosh, it seems like that's like a broken record because you've said that 6 months in a row. That's amazing. And during those times, you almost think it's going to never stop because you kind of quote unquote figured it out. But when that happens, you need to then pull back and say, okay, this will end eventually if I stop the fascination for learning more about the next level of the business. In my experience, y'all, there's one core reason why entrepreneurs will get off track, why an entrepreneur will have success, it'll be going the right direction, and then you look over at them in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and all of a sudden they're off track. Their mojo is gone. The revenue is going backwards. They're not having fun in their business anymore. And this is something I've gone through. And I'm going to talk about that core reason, how to avoid going off track as an entrepreneur. One of the things that I get to do that I enjoy the most these days, y'all, is I get to coach our Epic Plan members. And I had 3 different coaching calls today. And our Epic Plan is our high-level plan, an amazing group of dozens of entrepreneurs. I think the biggest business in it right now, their Carrot members, is about $8 million a year in revenue. And they range from about $300,000 to $8 million a year in revenue. And several of the guys and gals in the group are kind of in one of those spots where they're off track. And that's why they joined the program. They want to get back on track, get back to their momentum and get their energy back. And the core reason that I've found that entrepreneurs get off track, and I'm going to read you this life truth from my life truth notes in my iPhone. It says, why entrepreneurs get off track. They start from really working on something that they love, okay? They do what fascinates them and it grows confidence. So that's the way most of us start. We start something, we start to enjoy parts of it, we get confidence because we get some wins, and then and that's something that really fascinates us. And as that confidence grows, that's an amazing thing. We have a period of time where it feels like we can't lose for a while. Where we're like, dude, I've got this thing bottled up. I've got this feeling bottled up. I've got the prescription to success bottled up, and I can pull this bottle out anytime I want and have success with it, right? That's something that I have experienced several times in my life where I thought I figured it out, right? And I know better now. Every time I think I got it figured out, I go, okay, let me figure out what I've learned from this period of time, right? What are the indicators? What are the things that I did to get here, to get into this mode, to get into this energy of life? And let me see if I can write those things down, because eventually I will get off track likely, and I want to get back on track quicker. Okay, so the second part of this life truth is we grow that confidence, but then we get distracted by the rewards. We get distracted by the financial rewards. We get distracted by this opportunity, by that opportunity. We get distracted by taking our eye off the ball of the business that we're in right now and innovating that business to make that job that we already have and more enjoyable. And instead we get distracted by the new thing. We're going to go start this new business. We're going to dive in and take on these other types of deals before we've really mastered the thing that we're already doing that's been working well. We're going to get distracted by investing in different things that maybe we don't know as well. And what happens is when we get distracted, things usually get complicated. And when things get complicated, it drains your energy. And then we either sell, retire, sabotage, or pull back our goals and pull back our ambitions to what's comfortable. And so I'm going to read this short passage in its entirety to you without me adding commentary this time. But why entrepreneurs get off track. We start from a period of passion, of wanting to run towards something. We do what fascinates us, and it grows confidence as we stack up the wins. But then we get distracted by those financial rewards. We tackle those distractions. Things get complicated. We overcomplicate things, and energy drains, and we choose to sell, sabotage, or pull back our goals. So how do we avoid getting off track, y'all? Well, I think inherent in this passage, there's a few key things that I've learned over the years to either avoid or limit the amount of times we get off track? Well, the first thing is the word fascinates. I think that's such a great word, because oftentimes we find these things that really they fascinate us. We dive in and we're reading in the forums, we're reading the books, we're hopping on the calls. We're just soaking up so much information in those early days to get over that big challenge, because we've got a vision that's driving us in a direction that's so exciting, and or we have something we're trying to get away from, an old job we don't like, or a boss we don't like, or an income ceiling, or something. I was talking with one of our Epic Plan members today, and they're both firefighters and paramedics. And guys, they've only been in the business for 2.5 years, and they did over $4 million this last year, netted almost $2 million of it. And these guys were firefighter and paramedic for a long time together. And when I started to talk about why is it that they have done the business, why they decided to dive in, what was their vision, they were just trying to get away from a job that they enjoyed the craft of the job, but they're like, dude, I never saw my family. My hours were crazy. I couldn't really dive in and have deep hobbies. I couldn't really dive in and do these other things. And they said, we were on the income hamster wheel. We were just going to have to work these hours for the rest of our lives in hopes that there's going to be a retirement for us someday. So they were running away from the traditional mindset, the traditional model that they feel traps you rather than frees you. Okay. And they dove in, and things started to become fascinating to them. It's fascinating to learn how to find a deal. It's fascinating to negotiate the deal. It's fascinating to learn about real estate. And it's fascinating to get that first rental property done. And it's fascinating, like every stage you hit fascination. But then once again, as you start to hit up a bunch of wins, we have this confidence. And sometimes that confidence turns into overconfidence. And then we get distracted when that fascination on that original business starts to wane. And if you've been in business longer than 3 years, you can probably relate to this. And it turns into the boredom. It turns into you don't feel as challenged. Things are a little bit easier for you. Your systems are working. Your processes are working. And that's the exact time, y'all, to not let your guard down. And that's when I have let my guard down there before, or everything's working great. And you go, dude, every month is our best month. I remember there were these times with my wife in my previous company, and I've done it here with Carrot as well. I'm coming home, and like for 6, 8, 10, 12 months, I'm like, babe, here was the revenue this month. And she goes, and I said, it's our best month ever. And she goes, oh my gosh, it seems like that's like a broken record, because you've said that 6 months in a row. That's amazing. And during those times, you almost think it's going to never stop, because you kind of quote unquote figured it out. But when that happens, you need to then pull back and say, okay, this will end eventually if I don't stop my fascination. Like it'll end if I stop my fascination for the craft. It'll end if I stop the fascination for learning more about the next level of the business. Maybe I mastered that level of the business, but man, if I've never grown past that level, and the levels we talk about in our Epic program, the income levels, the revenue levels, it's your 3s and 10s, 100,000, 300,000, a million, 3 million, 10 million, 30 million, and so on. Those are the levels. So if you're hitting 500K a year in revenue and things seem kind of easy for you, and you're cranking that revenue in, and the fascination that you had about learning the craft got you to that point, and you're starting to get distracted with other opportunities, I can tell you that's the first warning sign. That's the first warning sign I'm going to give you here. That's your first warning sign that you may be nearing the point of potentially going off track. Okay, so I would challenge you, turn the fascination, rather than to a new business, turn the fascination to learning how to up-level that business to that next level. If you're at 500K and you're kind of stuck there, but you're doing great, or maybe you think you're going to get 700, figure out how to be the CEO of a company that does over $1 million. Okay, what is a CEO that does 3 million? What do they do? What are their habits? What are their disciplines? How do they run their business? What does their average day look like? What does their average week look like? What does that person's schedule look like? How do they think? Okay, differently than you do today. Increase your fascination again, but do it for the next level. And once again, that's one of the things I'm so excited about with the Epic program, is because I've been through those levels, past the 8 figures, and there's other people in these sessions that have as well. As soon as you know what those levels are, you can grow through that, right? My fascination right now is learning how to really break through that 10 to 20 million mark. Okay, that's my fascination, because I hit a big spot, just being honest, where Same thing. I thought I could bottle up all that success, and you start to take your eye off the ball a little bit. And for me, it wasn't taking my eye off the ball with the new business. It was probably just really taking my eye off the ball and getting distracted by tasks and things I shouldn't have been doing in my business at that level. Those tasks were just fine at 3 million. Those tasks were just fine at 5 million, maybe even 7 million. Those tasks were just fine, but they weren't fine at 10, 11 million. And I had to increase my fascination to say, what does a $25 million CEO do? And same thing with you, increase that fascination. Okay. Another thing, y'all, is the confidence side. As soon as you start to feel that overconfidence, recognize that there's a limited time period on that, and that confidence will go away as soon as you have your first series of losses. And what can happen when we have those first series of losses is you start to second guess things. You start to make decisions slower. And if you're in that spot where you were winning and now you're losing a little bit, you might have that confidence to just hit. You're stalling out on decisions. You're second guessing, you're analyzing things too deeply, you're delegating decisions that you should make to other people, and that further slows things down and even hits your confidence even more. Okay, so let's kind of pair apart some more of this. Then it gets complicated. What does complicated mean in a business, and how do we avoid going off track and making our businesses too complicated? Well, the first thing is on the distraction. Even if it's within your business, we might get distracted by adding 3 more marketing channels. Let's say you've nailed marketing channel 1, you've nailed marketing channel 2, and then you go to a mastermind and someone says, dude, you need to do this thing. It's crushing it. Then you're like, dude, let's take it back. All these other ones are working great. You spread yourself thin on 2 other marketing channels. And now all of a sudden the business is more complicated because you have more people to report to you. You have more metrics to kind of decipher. You have all this data that you've got to put into reporting systems now, and the business gets more complicated. Or let's say you start to tackle other markets and you go, dude, I'm going to go after these other markets. And you know what? I need this person for this market. I need a person on the ground for that. I need a person on the ground for that. And that all sounds great, but all of a sudden that's complicated now. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go into a new market, right? But until you've really mastered your existing market and you've really built the team in a way to where you're ready, the team and your systems in a way to where you're ready to go to the new market, you might be overcomplicating the business. Okay. And then all of a sudden you have these in-between roles. I know for me, whenever I had overcomplicated the business, we created too many offers. We created too many in our world at Carrot, too many landing pages, too many front end, top of funnel, opt-in offers. And what if we just focused on 2, right? What if we just looked at our data and said, no, these 2 actually are pulling in 80% of our leads. What if we just doubled down on those and made them even better? What if we scaled those out to new marketing channels because we know those ones work, instead of launching brand new top of funnels? Because all of a sudden, when you have 7 or 8 top of funnels, now someone's got to manage 7 or 8 top of funnels, right? Rather than managing 2 really, really well. Well, it's the same way as a real estate investor or an agent. Okay. If you have 1 or 2 marketing channels working really well, but you haven't really gone all in on them yet, well, shoot, what if you go all in on those and double down on them? It's what I call scaling the bright spots. You scale the bright spots, you scale the things that are already working, and you max them out. And only until you've maxed them out do you add on another channel. Okay. With Carrot, I remember vividly, we didn't pay for any paid ads for almost 3 years into our business. It was search engine optimization, and it was engaging in social media content. And that was it. I did SEO and I engaged in social media. We created a great product. And we didn't turn on paid ads for years, okay? And there was a period of time where we overcomplicated things. We had affiliate marketing going and Google ads and Facebook ads and this and that. And the team was wanting to do TikTok ads and podcast ads and media buys and all the stuff that was just doing okay. Okay, so you start to overcomplicate things. You can overcomplicate things by hiring too many people. The dog just got home. The dog ran in and said hi. You want to say hi in the podcast, sis? Say hi. What? Come on. So you don't want to overcomplicate things. So simplify things as much as you can and keep away from the distraction. Okay. So the last part that we talk about here is energy drains. Oftentimes when I get in the spot of energy drain, it's oftentimes because of the complication, because I overcomplicated the business and I was doing too many tasks that I shouldn't do. Either I didn't have a team member that I could delegate those tasks to, or I didn't train that team member well to take on those tasks, or you know what, we just shouldn't have done those tasks at all. And so your energy starts to get drained. And if you feel like you're off track a little bit, if you feel like you're kind of hitting that point of boredom, if you feel like your momentum's gone a little bit, and that success that you had felt you'd bottled up for a while is now starting to slip backwards. I'm working with one of my Epic Plan members right now that is going through this challenge. And it's not because that person's not capable of making it happen. They're fully capable of getting their mojo back. It's because they mastered the phase from 300,000 to 1 million. They did not know how to go over 1 million. So then they went from 300,000 to 1 million. They were crushing it. And now they're back down to 700,000, back down to 600,000 because they hit that pain line. They overcomplicated things. And then they said, I've got to step back because this is painful. My energy's being drained. And when your energy's being drained by your business, you're going to stop doing the things that drain your energy. And oftentimes those things are the things that bring revenue. Oftentimes it's picking up the phone and making that call, or answering that call, or answering that email, or making that sale that you avoid because it's going to create more pain in your life. You sabotage, you don't even know it. All right, guys. So I want to keep you guys on track. If this is something if this topic resonates with you, or you just want a coach, you want to be able to be in an amazing group of people where the Epic program, y'all, is model driven. What does model driven mean? It means I pull back and I go, how do I not just teach people what to do? Okay. I would not be doing the right thing if I only taught you what to do, or the things to go do. What I really teach is how to think about your business differently. I teach you how to think about the topics differently. I teach you these mental models, so now you can inject brand new models into your life that are going to help you for years, rather than me just giving you tasks to do. Okay, so it's model driven. Every single thing I teach you has a model behind it to change your mind frame, whether it's on the marketing side or delegation or your business vision or your business strategy. There's an executable model in my training, and then literally a template you take out of our program and put it into your business. The next part is it's mentor driven. So I'm your primary mentor in the Epic program. This is one of my favorite things. I get so much energy by coaching. I get so much energy by creating models to help you in your business and life. And that's really why Carrot Camp has been such an amazing success. And I said, what if I just took the 2 days of Carrot Camp, where people come back for their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, because of the transformation they get in life and business? What if I took that and made it so it happens all year round? And I get to teach people what I'm learning as I go. And I get to be with people and coach them in a one-on-one and group format. But you know what? Even better, they get to connect with others in the program who are going through similar things. So it's mentor driven, me and other amazing founders who I bring into the program as guests and experts. Okay, the last part, it's model driven, it's mentor driven, and it's community driven. One of the best things about the program is there's always going to be someone in the program who's already doing what you are wanting to do. A couple of the guys I talked to today, they're wanting to build a rental portfolio, and one of them just hired a project manager for all their construction projects, or they're wanting to hire a project manager to buy back his time. Okay, because that part's draining his energy. And I said, dude, I just talked to another Epic Plan member yesterday who literally just hired their project manager 2 weeks ago, and he's learning how to train him. Why don't I pair you guys up, and you guys can kind of learn from each other on how hiring your first project manager for your construction projects is going. And so it's community driven as well. All right, guys. So if you're wanting to tap into something, you're wanting to up-level your business and life, you're wanting to unlock that next level of growth, go to carrot.com/epic. That's carrot.com/epic. Set up a discovery call with myself and my team. We'll learn about your business. We'll walk you through what the Epic program looks like and see if you're a fit. All right, guys, carrot.com/epic. Come join this amazing momentum building group and try not to go off track, right? Stay on track. We're going to keep you on track. All right, guys, talk to you soon. I love it. See ya.